Nisha's Network, y'all.
It's Nisha's Network, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about connecting, yeah.
Connect the vibe.
It's Nisha's Network, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about connecting, yeah. Let's go.
Connect and feel the vibe. Connections make you feel alive. We do this every day. Let's put your business on display. Network, let's heal and pray. It's our love, we here to stay. Trust in God, he'll lead the way. We on right now, no need to wait. Let's go. It's Nisha's Network, yeah, yeah. It's all about connecting, yeah. Let's go.
Well, hey everybody, how are you today? Super excited to be here today with you on this segment of Nisha's Network. And today's segment, I am just really grateful to have the beautiful Anjela Thomas, aka Angel, the 22-year-old amazing, anointed, appointed worshiper, and just an encouragement. And I'm going to allow her to introduce herself to us today. But I thank God before she shares that for family, not just family, but family. And I consider her one of my babies as well. She might as well be my adopted niece or whatever the case may be, because truly God knits people's hearts together. And he has sent her in our lives for such a time as this. And it's for more than one reason. We'll actually be family anyway. But the principle of the matter is that I thank God for her today. So if you are watching, this is one of those episodes that you definitely want to share. Grab your teenager, grab your young adult, grab your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your friend, and come on and hang out with us today for a few moments. All right, Angel, introduce yourself, beautiful.
Hi everyone. As Ms.
Talk
Nisha
up just a little bit. Don't be shy.
my name is Angel. I'm 22 years old. I love your intro, by the way. That was really nice.
Oh, thank you, girl. Now, if I get that from a young person, you know I'm doing something now, right? Go ahead, girl.
I'm 22 years old. Um, right now, I'm currently working. I sing at church, and I'm very family oriented. I don't know if that's a good intro, but that's me as of right now.
That's good enough, girl. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I want to just start off by saying that Angel is our newest council member and the youngest of Heart Life Ministries HLM Recovery Program. And I'm just here to have a conversation with her. And we entitled this Finding Angel. And we're going to talk a little bit about her story and her journey, the victory of it, but also the impact that she has on just her voice, which you see is soft spoken, but there is such power and impact, and God uses her. So let's go back a few years and just really talk about. Well, let me just share a little bit that I know you guys from church, Christian Life Center, years ago, and my first encounter with you guys being at my home, me and Wes, was the passing of your dad. And I know that was a very difficult time. It was life shocking for me because it was so sudden. And you all were just, young babies, young kids, going around having a good time at church and for what I could see. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
So my dad passed away when I was 12. Um, and I always like tell people like that's all I got with him was 12 years. Um, it was really hard because, like you said, it came out of nowhere. So we didn't really know what to do. Um, like after the fact, that was like the main thing. It's like, okay, what do we do now? Just because I was so used to seeing like both of my parents, like right when my mom walked in the door, he was coming in right after her. So I think like initially once we were like at the hospital, I didn't have many words or like any emotions. I grew like a lot of anger on the inside of me, while everybody else was just kind of like crying. I did a lot of like blaming the doctor. I was really upset with God because I couldn't understand like, okay, why is this happening? Like I always can remember my mom's face, or like even my auntie getting a phone call um that night, and just like everybody's reaction and us being in the room, and basically like doctors telling us like they tried everything but it was too late. But more so just because I did say like I blamed them for a minute, was just because the night of, he went to the hospital twice. So like the very first time, we said bye, it was kind of late, but not late as it was. And they sent him home and said like nothing was wrong. And like it was a Friday night. So then like the second time he was like grabbing his chest, and my mom's like, okay, we're about to go back because he's still in pain. And that's when he passed away of a heart attack. So he had a heart attack the second time he went. Um, and it was a younger doctor, and he just, I don't know, it was just like the guilt look kind of I can explain, like on his face, is what kind of just set my heart on fire to just be upset, because I was like, okay, and I'm like, me being 12, I'm like, y'all just kill my father. That's how like I saw it, because
Yeah, I'm sure.
he was just here hours ago. You could have helped. Like if you took it serious enough, he might still be here. So like 12 years old, I'm bargaining with the Lord because we grew up Christian, but like I never was truly saved. I was at church, either running around like with my siblings or like other church kids. So it's like I wasn't actually saved for myself. I just knew like, hey, this is something we do. We go Sunday, we go to the choir rehearsals, this, that, and the third. So like I'm like asking God, like, hey, if you real, like, can you please bring my father back, and I will, I'll get saved for real. But like, days started going by, and I'm like, okay, this not happening. So I was really upset from like that point on, and just really sad. Like us still been in the house for a little bit before we moved. That took a really tough toll on all of us. Probably my mom, like even the one day she like walked in, and I think we all were just like crying because it was just so hard to keep going into a house where he's not there. It got quieter, like there was no loud singing, or like he was hilarious.
He was definitely a bumble of joy. That's what I have to say. He definitely had joy and boisterous. I remember him running around with the youth, and
Mhm.
actually it was a heartbreaker for me because your mom and dad were just about to attend our marriage getaway, and that would have been their first time. Instead of that, we were praying and comfort and peace for them. So you know what? I'm gonna move a little bit fast forward because I want to know, you when did you say, yes to Jesus? When did you say, I want to get saved. I want to give my life to Christ. What age was that? And when did you say that?
Um, so it's a little bit of a two part. 16 years old. I feel like I was at youth camp is when like I was like, okay, like genuinely for myself. Um, except like I feel like I didn't have like too much of, you know, the guidance to like, truly learn obedience and walk in this walk out. Um, so then I rededicated my life, and I got rebaptized at 21, after getting like I have a really bad relationship that just took a toll on me mentally and just a lot. But I really felt like God was like, okay, it's time to come back home. So I've been, on the road almost to like recovery
Yes,
since.
yes.
But just for like my mental health, that's when things really started picking up, and I don't, put God second to anything since.
Okay, didn't want to interrupt you, but while you said you didn't want to put God second. And I think that just being 22 years old and walking this life and seeing what young people have to face, and the reason I really, one of the things with finding Angel, I believe, of course, the Lord found you. You never were lost, because the bottom line was, when grow up in the foundation of faith is difficult, but then having such a tragedy hit you, and then it knocks the wind out of you. You like, I don't know how to do this. So I want to talk about a little bit about, what do you think, before we dive into, more of your testimony, what do you think is the missing key component to just genuine faithfulness to Christianity amongst young people? Like what is the missing link? Because it doesn't seem like it's something so popular. Um, it just doesn't seem like it's just a need, if that makes sense.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Um, honestly, maybe one I would say examples. You know,
You
genuine
said examples.
like
Okay.
other people um to show them like, hey, this is a need. Like you should really not only try Jesus, but just live for him forever. And I say examples because I feel like because I stepped back when like I mentioned, I was in a really bad relationship. So that was like 2 years. Um, but it's only different for me because I had that foundation, kind of growing up. But we all still have a choice, God leaves it to us. But seeing my little sister, my mom, my grandmother, like Kayla is probably the most saved person besides my mom and dad. Like I've genuinely ever met that, like when she goes home, like no, this is really her. Like this isn't just a on stage thing. And I just remember during those times, kicking it, having fun in my sin. Like I'll always look at Kayla or hear what Kayla's doing, or she'll tell me about things. In my heart, I'm like, man, I want that. Like I want that, and I wanted it so bad. Like I started to have this strong desire to really just fall in love with Jesus again. But it wasn't me seeing her on stage and then next, she out here cursing or whatever. And that's sometimes what people base it off of. And to certain people, that might seem like a minor. Hey, so what? I still curse and I'm a Christian, or so what? I still drink. I'm a Christian, or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
now let's stop there, Angel, because that is the truth. Now I really have to be honest with you, because that's what I was trying to say. It's like, I love Jesus, I'm worshiping, but I'm cussing like a sailor. I mean,
Right.
I know that cannabis is now just the thing for I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, it's like, go get you some gummies or go get you some, and it's like, what I find the dynamic of that is that there is a longing for something, but there's that thing that the world can't satisfy, only Jesus can. But really surrounding yourself with people. What you say?
I was saying, I'm sorry. I was saying like just getting that message out because like with the whole drugs thing, I have like friends and everybody says, stress, anxiety, but like in my mind, I'm always like try Jesus because I always like think of people not, saying I'm, above anybody or anything. I've went through my father passing away, suicide ideations, and I've not, went and leaned on drugs or anything, and that's
Do
just
you
a
think
strong
it's
individual.
because, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you think it's because, and I might interrupt you because we only have a few minutes, but do you
Fine.
think it's because um you're not surrounded by drugs, that those are not your methods of choice? Do you think the people that turn to drugs are usually in circles with drugs? Or do you think that, now, like I said, you guys, if you all are watching, uh, Angel is our youngest council member for our recovery program for substance abuse, mental health, and other opportunities to minister to the community. So, but I wanted to say that, why do you think that is do you think it's just the surrounding? And then I want to dive into the suicide ideations, but I just want to talk about that first.
I want to say no, just because like I know we probably have like a few family members, um, but I kind of was surrounded. It's because you choose your friends, outside of home. So probably like in high school, and then outside of high school, I knew a lot of people, a lot of kids that started really early, um, drinking. Like before they started smoking or anything. Um, my friend, Maritza, she started when she was like 12, she said, because her parents, they just like were like, okay, go ahead. So I have like, friends that always would ask me like, hey, do you want to come drink or do you want to come do this? And I'm like, no, like so depending on what the function is, I'll show up to, of course, be in like your presence or your company and to, friends or whatever, but I don't do anything. And I don't want to say here like I'm perfect. I have, drank before, but that's not what I'm codependent on or I've ever been. I feel like God's unseen protection has literally always been there. And then just, you know, I care about my salvation more, or just like I just have that awareness where I'm like, hey, this might be the start of a bad habit. So that's what I keep in mind, where I let people know, like, nah, I know myself. That's just a personal thing. Like, if I feel like this could cause me to be addicted, I just tell them no, and that's pretty much it for me. So I feel like you have a choice, and the stuff be nasty. So I'm like, you really have to choose to live this lifestyle, just like any other, thing you might be heavy into. You choose it.
Yeah. Wow. Such such wisdom for a 22-year-old. And I know people say, well, keep living. But you know what? When you make Jesus your choice, he is the author and finisher of your faith. He will sustain you. He will keep the commitment you've made to him. So I want to talk a bit about, what's it been? It's been about a year now, or no, it's been a couple years where you had memory loss, and you talked even about one of the reasons you came to, we did a roundtable for young adults and young people, and you came and God just used you so powerfully, and you just spoke truth about parents not really paying attention. And of course, and many of the people that watch know that, our nephew is gone, my sister's son and my brother's son, John Boy. And John Boy was the life of the party. Like, he was the life of the party. And I would say, I don't know if depression set in the last year or whatever. I don't know if it was influential. I don't know all the dynamics. But I do know that it knocked the wind out of us. And you spoke so powerfully to the mental health of really, suicide ideations, and then just really that it's a real thing. And so I want you to speak to the hope, but I want you to speak to some of the things that you went through, and then the hope where God just brought you out, even through, you losing your memory and different things like that.
So I'm trying to, make it a little quick, but in line. So I probably had suicide ideation since I was younger. And right
Now,
now,
What's younger, Angel?
maybe because my father was still alive, probably like 7, 8 years old. I had really bad nightmares growing up as a kid, like super graphic and dark. Never really knew why. So that caused me a lot, sleeping in my parents' room just because they were so bad. Or just like seeing things that as a kid I really didn't know what was going on. But my
This
therapist,
is in your dream. These are in your dreams.
in my
Wow.
in my dreams, but like even sometimes at night, like seeing weird shadows on my doors and stuff like that. So that caused me having issues with sleeping and everything. But then like going into school, sometimes getting picked on because we moved around a lot, I would say. So I was either in a predominantly white school or predominantly black school. But either one, I was still kind of like either sometimes getting picked on a lot or just picked on a little. But like middle ground, having friends, we solid. So that kind of some days took a toll. Whereas if I was already thinking things in my head, I always had low self esteem. So it was really quick for the enemy to just be like, hey, kill yourself. Um,
At
so
7 years old, that's something. So parents should be aware. You know,
right.
did you even ever talk to anybody about it throughout the years, or you just kept it to yourself?
No, up until I got in that relationship, I did like a little bit, but it wasn't till like 2019 I actually like sat my mother down. Probably from like the last time, like I let her know like, hey, I really do want to live, but I need help. So I just broke it down to her all on New Year's, and I know that was probably tough for her, but I was like I really need want to live, but I really need help, in order to do so. Just because I just struggle sometimes, or like mentally, I just be like, I don't want to be here. Like that'll really just be it for me.
Mm.
I still want to, be with the Lord, but it's just like living sometimes for me, it just seems like too much. So I'd rather just not be here at all. Even if there is no negative thoughts, if it's just too much going on, sometimes it just goes there. But my father's side, they dealt with a lot of depression. So my therapist was saying it might just be hereditary. But we have like steps in place now. I really do appreciate my mom. She took that conversation seriously, and got me a therapist, a Christian therapist, and I've been going to her since, and I've been doing a lot better, communication wise, recognizing, those thoughts are not true, and that's probably just the enemy trying to, bother me or get at me. So,
That is so powerful. And I know being an advocate, a mental health advocate, and then also being a worshiper comes into place because staying in the presence of the Lord, cast down imaginations and different things like that. But I love that you said get a therapist. And I know that it's real easy to just keep life going. So, first of all, kudos to your mom, Monique. What's her new last name? Oh, Lord, I'm in trouble. Williams, Monique Williams, Mrs. Monique Williams, the anointed, powerful worshiper as well, for hearing you. Would you ever say that there's a time where you felt like you weren't heard, and not necessarily from your mom, but sometimes, kids don't feel like they have a safe place to go to their parents and feel like, you know, like I don't know how to approach them, or they're not paying attention. What do you think about that?
I probably say all my life. Um, just because I was just that, quiet kid. Observed things a lot. Um, just because, again, like my dad's side, they're really heavy on the prophetic. So it was like I had negative thoughts going against other thoughts, but about other people. Where it was like God was telling me things, but I didn't know what was going on. So it was like I was in a group of people, and I'm like hearing different words, or like something that could potentially either, change this person's life, or just like a prophetic word, but I didn't know. So like my grandmother, she's been telling me I'm prophetic since I was 6 years old, but I was ignoring it, not listening because it scared me. I got that. So I just, I sat back and I was quiet a lot. And Kayla started singing before me, and then my brother, he's just great at everything. So I was like, naturally, as a middle child kid, I was like, okay, they don't notice me or anything. So I would always kind of like step back. But in times where I would try to like speak up, but I really didn't have the communication skills I have now, where something made me mad or kind of like made me overthink, I would just shut down and not talk to anybody about it. Sometimes my sisters, but like if you could kind of say one thing that'll kind of just set me off, and I'll just shut down and not want to talk about it. Or because I've had really bad anger issues, I would just like kind of lash out and then not talk about it even more. Um, so that's pretty much on that.
Okay. Well, I know that your favorite scripture is Philippians 4:13, that I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And with that, I want you to talk a little bit about, as we bring this, wrap it all in to the testimony of you, God bringing back your memory, and you really, finding Angel, because I believe you found your voice. And not only your voice, let me tell y'all something about this little prophetic child. I can say child because that's honorary, but she's a young adult. But the bottom line is that God used you so powerfully to pray prophetically and to speak into the life of somebody who could be your grandmother. And you began to speak life, and that testimony came that day. And that's just one example. And I know God uses you, and you're not shy at all as a worshiper, jumping around the stage at Anthem and just really worshiping the Lord. But I want to say that I love that you said you continue with therapy, because um, that's necessary, because it's natural and spiritual. Doesn't mean that the thoughts are not going to come, or the enemy's not going to try to come against you. But the bottom line is that you have overcome. You found Angel. You found the word of the Lord for you. So let's talk about the hope part and finding Angel. And I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Um, so is it okay, like, if I talk a little
Yes,
bit
go
of my
ahead.
memory? Okay. Um, so I before I lost my memory, this was May 7th, I believe, of last year. Um, I was, asking God to help me be more obedient and just a whole bunch of other things. And then after the bad relationship, I kind of wanted everything new. And then boom, the day of my mother's birthday, which is May 7th, I fainted at work and I lost my memory. Um, but it to me, like it just didn't everything just kind of didn't seem like right or kind of natural to me, just because they ran a whole bunch of tests. I was probably in the hospital for about 5 days. And on, I want to say the fourth or the third day, because they had, running some more tests on my heart, my brain. I had told my mom, because I was so ready to go home. I told her, I said, Mom, they're not going to find anything because God already told me that He's healing me. And
Woo!
she's like, what? And I told her again, and she's like, sweetheart, like you can't tell them that because they don't believe what we believe. But I told her, I said, Mom, when I was asleep the night before, I said he started like showing me things, and he was showing me, even a new me. Um, and I told her, I'm like, they're literally, I said, I know this sounds crazy, but they're not gonna find anything. Um,
My
and I
God.
told her, like, after I told her that, I was trying to get them things out of me. I'm like, I want to go home. And so like we were still waiting on the results, and when they finally, came the next day, and the man, he's like, we don't, like, she should be fine. We don't know what, caused this. And then they released me, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, I told you, like, I don't know what is going on. And us talking about it later, I told her I don't think, what happened to me was a natural thing, but I was like strongly asking God for everything new. Like I cut my hair, a whole lot of things happened just to allow God to truly transform my life. Um, so when after that happened, I got to relearn my family, but like stuff just started, like, if they asked me something, stuff would kind of come in my head. I mean, certain things that might have happened, a long time ago, I might have been like, okay, I don't know, but I feel like that's a natural thing because some people might not know themselves. Um,
Yeah.
like briefly, them letting me know, like my dad passed away, my dog, because I was like, oh, I got a dog, and they were like, no, you don't. So that kind of stuff, it hurt a
So you
little.
didn't remember about your dad either?
No, so like they were showing me pictures, and once it started like popping up, like this, I think the second or third day I was home, my mom was like, "Hey, let's look at some photo albums," and then once I kind of was like pointing at people or like pointing at him, like, "Oh, he's gone," but like the first day, I'm like, "No," and she was like asking me like, your dad passed away," and then I cried a little bit. So I was like, "Dang, okay." So that was kind of a lot to take in, but like my family is serious. So it was also great learning them. I watched a lot of church online, which kind of kept me going. And really, because the only thing I knew when I lost my memory was God, that kind of really just kept me up those 5 days. Where it was like I was I was very frustrated, and I knew I hurt my mom because I didn't know her the day of her birthday. And I mean, I know she didn't cry in front of me, but like still, just the look on everybody's face, like we your family. Like you have to know us. You have to remember us. Where it kind of like it broke my heart, but like the Lord was literally just talking to me and walking me through that the entire time. Just how I feel like He has
Wow.
my entire life, in situations where He's never let me go too far, and I've always been grateful of that. So
Wow. That is such an amazing, powerful testimony. And the fact that you knew that God was healing you and transforming you, but you had asked for it. And we don't know what stuff is going to look like all the time. Um, but I want you to just encourage people right now, Angel, just as, not only a mental health advocate, because that's who you are now, just fighting for people's lives, not just in the natural, but in the spiritual as well, and being a prophetic young, I'm gonna say minister of the gospel, of really speaking out and a worshiper. Um, how can you encourage the young people that may be watching today and their parents?
Um, One for parents, always, listen to your kids. Try to, learn different warning signs. I feel like it's really key and important that, you know, if my mom, because a lot of people just started catching on to mental illness, just look up some signs, if they're going without talking, or just the behavior change. Be praying over your kids. That's another thing. Stay in your word so your foundation is solid, to help build their foundation be solid. And just like random, my mom randomly tells me she's proud of me, she loves me. I probably haven't been doing much, but just to know that she loves me regardless of anything, and that she's there to truly listen to me and talk to me, even though I used to fear going to talk to her. She's always been an open door. I just never, felt that I could. So just make that way for your kids to just be honest with you. Some things may be tougher than others, but she's taking it like a champ. So I just want to encourage you to, do this.
Oh, we got lost with Angel. Oh my goodness, I don't know what. There she is. She's back. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. You there, Angel? Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on, but you know what? I'm gonna just say the devil is a liar, because she really has impacted my heart today just with her testimony. And I'm sure she's impacting a lot of you guys as well. So if you are watching this or have just joined us, go back, hit the replay, and share it with your young people. Share it with your parents. Share it with your family. It is so important. And I'm just so grateful that her transparency, 22 years old, her transparency has really been a blessing this morning. So you don't want to negate this. And Angel doesn't know this, but we are putting her in charge of our movie in mind. That is going to be August the 30th. It's going to be a backyard movie night for young adults, teenagers and young adults from age 13 all the way up. You're going to bring your lawn chair, and we're going to speak. We're going to have a bonfire. But Angel is our advocate for our young adults, and it's actually her idea to do some fun things for people so that we can have an opportunity to actually reach people beyond just sitting around preaching to them, or, you know what I mean, just doing some fun things. So Angel, can you speak just a little bit to the activities, and then I want you to pray us out. We've gone much longer than a normal, but I think that this is so good and so rich, and I don't want to miss the opportunity for you to be heard. So I want you to finish your thought, and then just talk about how you feel about being a part of HLM recovery, and a mental health advocate. And then I want you to pray for the hearts and the minds of those who are watching, and their children, their grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and beyond. I can't hear you though. We can't hear you. Try to turn your volume up. I know sometimes computers have glitches. I don't know why we can't hear you guys. Well, this is what we're going to do. Mark your calendars for August the 30th. We will be actually at 8628 Farmview Drive, where we will be having a movie in mind, backyard movie night about mental health and everything. So let me see if I can hear you, Angel. Can I hear you?
Um, can you
There
hear
you
me?
are. Yes, I can hear you. That's awesome. So we
Woo.
don't have time for anything else, but I do want you to pray and continue your thought on encouraging everyone.
Okay. Just really quickly, to anybody younger or even older, please take your mental health seriously. Know that and therapy in Jesus truly does work. It's working for me. Backyard. Plan on coming to have fun and with expectation to come out and meet us. I feel really honored, and it is such a privilege to be able to work really feeling the love and just HLM. And as a whole, even though I'm the nation, everybody, loves me and welcomes me very nicely. So I really, but yeah, just to the younger, keep on fighting. Somebody to talk to you. Keep praying. Keep trying to live that, or feeling like you're not worth it, and that you don't matter. That though really, if it's mainly mental, they're just lies. That's what I is that they are just lies, and the enemy would love to see you give in for yourself, or just for God as a whole, and that took me now that I got serious. He's gonna just be trying any kind of way to allow him and just make the devil mad. That's always what I tell myself is watch this. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pray. Thank you so much for this. I really do. God, we just thank you for this time today. We thank you for everybody watching. I somebody, and that it reaches people that it needs to, God. And I just pray come out to events and get more connected. I pray for anybody that's dealing with any kind of such, you just step in and intervene, God, and that you just have your way, that you just begin strong young women and men, God, and just even people that might be older, or just be their firm foundation and their peace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Well, guess what, you guys? You all will hear more from Miss Anjela Thomas. It's going to be exciting. Her face will be the face of us moving forward and reaching a generation so that we could be healthy, mind, body, and spirit. I'm so honored that she is a part of our recovery program. And that is for mental health and substance abuse disorders and unemployment, and also people without homes. We're definitely moving toward a space where we need to reach the next generation. So she will be sharing the information on her page, all her social media platforms. Thank you, Angel. I just love you so much. I am honored that
Love
you
you.
she's so transparent today, and I know many, many massive blessings are coming your way. Until next time, you guys, we want you to share, subscribe to Nisha's Network on YouTube, subscribe to nishasnetwork.com, and just come on and join the forces of how we can share a wealth of information with the world. Blessings to you all. Hold on, Angel.
Connect and vibe, connect and vibe, connect and vibe, connect and vibe, connect and vibe.